welcome to the show. Today we're going to answer a viewer's question. Today's question comes from Saint Faya, and he asks, if I'm at a gas station or in a church or even on a trip, what are the best foods I can grab? Okay, so what I had to do with this question is first define what are best foods. And what that means for each individual is different. So I went off of my meal plan, which consists of 5 meals, approximately 2,500 calories total, 500 calories per meal times 5 meals, which breaks down to approximately 225 grams of protein, which comes out to be about 35% of the diet. And then I looked at about 25 to 30% fat, and the rest are in your complex carbohydrates. Now for women, I used a maintenance calories of about 1,750 for 5 meals, and a deficit meal plan of about 1,400 calories, 4 meals. So that came out to about 350 calories per meal with 35 grams of protein, and once again that 35 to 40% protein. We went with like 25 to 30% fat, and once again the rest in complex carbohydrates. So that's the base I use to come up with a best or a good diet as I hit the road. Okay, so I think this may turn into a whole series. This was a fun idea for me to challenge myself with, going to different quick stops or fast food places to try to see if I could eat healthy. So my first stop was my local 7-Eleven. Let's check out the video. So the first thing that I really kind of had a hard time with is this was a pretty small 7-Eleven. There wasn't a lot of food there to choose from. So the first aisle I instinctively am going to go to, and most people in this kind of a setting, is the healthy bars, the protein bars. So that was my first kind of stop, just to see what they had there that had higher protein, good balance of carbs, and not too much sugar, which is key. So that's where I first started. Then I was thinking, that's too easy. That's a little bit cheesy way out. So I wanted to see if I could come up with some meals with more fresh food, some real food versus some engineered or designed food. So I went to what you can see was a pretty small section at their deli area, and there was not much to choose from. There was actually no bread to choose from, and a couple pre-made meals and salads, but not much. Looking at the fruit, a little bit of searching there for protein. I was checking out the pre-made meals there, and one of the things that I actually was having a hard time with the pre-made meals even is they were not very much protein and a lot of fat and carbs. So actually the balance was way off. The percentages of the macronutrients was way off. So a lot of the prepared food was not going to meet my standard of what I was looking for. Once again, going over to searching that protein. Looking for a couple protein shakes in there. Some healthy fats. Checking out. Okay. So once again, my goal for men was 500 calories with an average or a minimum of 45 grams of protein. That was for men. And for the women, the goal calories are 30 grams of protein and under 350 total calories. So as you can see, I kind of laid out a couple different fruits and foods and proteins that I came up with, and I was going to try to pick and choose and combine different foods to see if I could come up with the right ratios. Okay, so for meal number 1, I came up with, and once again I tried to make them palatable so it was a little bit tolerable, some straight up lean meat, some deli meat, and cheese. So you could roll that cheese right inside that meat and kind of make little snacks out of that. The total calories on that meal, just with the turkey and 3 string cheeses, was 510 calories, 58 grams of protein. So a little high on the protein, but if I'm going to go over on something, I would rather be a little bit high on the protein. The next meal. Okay, next woman's meal actually. This is 350 calories and 43 grams of protein. So what I did is I selected and paired the shake, the protein shake, which was really high in protein, with some fruit. And the fruit I chose are northern fruits, so they're more cold weather fruits. We got grapes and maybe some berries in there. So they're a little bit more complex than the citrusy fruits. So as far as fruits go, it was a good choice. And those particular shakes, actually my daughter tried it and she loved it. She said it was great. All right, the next pairing, there's another one of those protein shakes with a jerky stick. This was a large jerky stick. I actually probably should have looked at the calorie balance a little bit better. It was a little bit higher in fat than I would have liked. So if I was to pick out some different jerky, it would probably be something a little bit leaner than this particular one was. Came out with 55 grams of protein and 470 calories total. So under my calories and high in the protein once again. Next guy's meal, we came out with a couple fresh eggs, well, supposedly fresh eggs, and a detour bar. Total calories 540, 44 grams of protein, and I mean almost kind of in the range what we're looking for. I don't know how well those would taste together, but and the last, or close to the last meal for a women's bar. A lot of the women's bars were right around those 300 calories, but actually really low in the protein, only 15 to 20 grams of protein. So this larger bar that most women probably wouldn't look at was one of the bars that I could come up with enough protein in it for a woman's meal. So this is what I came with, 410 calories, 30 grams of protein on that one. And this one, this is a funny one. Actually, we got a sub with only the bottom bun and the eggs. So we got 340 calories and 32 grams of protein. I actually, when I unwrapped this, I actually thought I grabbed a sub, but it was I thought I grabbed a wrap. Because usually wraps are going to be less in carbohydrates in the bread than the sandwich. But I did grab accidentally the sandwich, and that came out to be way too many carbs in the sandwich, so I actually lost 100 calories by taking off the bun, which is a good alternate if we had to. So if somebody's at a restaurant, a Subway or something, you don't have to eat the bread. You can get rid of that top layer. So we took 100 calories away from that sub of carbs, and we added about another 140 back in with the healthy fats and proteins in the egg. Awesome. All right, so that was much harder than I anticipated. I thought it would be, no problem go in there, pick out something healthy from the deli, lunch meat, wraps, this. But in such a small 7-Eleven, it was very hard actually. So to sum up my answer for the question, can you eat healthy at a 7-Eleven? Yes-ish. So I found it really difficult. It can be done. Obviously, it came up with some meals, not the best. I definitely recommend avoid these scenarios and situations at all time by prepping your food and bring them with you. But if an emergency comes out and you don't have food, you do have to make a hard choice and do a 7-Eleven. It's possible. I would recommend not being so mindful of your carbs and fat, but look at your protein sources that you're choosing and also your caloric intake total of that meal. If you can stay in between the safe zones with those carbs and fats will probably fall in play. And then I would also say look at those carbs. Are they complex or simple sugars, which we talked about in the last video. So be a little mindful of those, but don't worry too much about it when you're in a pinch. You got to do with your best what you have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give it a like. And if you're not already, please subscribe. Okay, I need this platform to grow. I want to give you more content, more value. Let me know you enjoy it. tell a friend, take on the challenge. I challenge you to go to the 7-Eleven and try to stay within your macronutrients. I'll probably go a next one to a fast food, maybe like a Chick-fil-A or a In-N-Out, and see how I can do if I can stay in my zone at those kind of places. That'll be a fun challenge. So look forward to the next videos coming soon. Peace.